I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're unlocking the secrets of becoming an exceptional leader with an exceptional author. His name is Markus van Alphen, and he's written a powerful book. It is called The Excellent Leader: Influence Using the Art of Observational Listening. This is a groundbreaking book that unlocks the potential of leadership through the powerful tool of listening, teaching you not just to hear, but to truly understand and influence your team effectively. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Mark, it's great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. Nice to see you here too.
Great to see you as well. We've heard of active listening, where you listen not just for the words, but try to really understand. But your observational listening technique actually takes it a step further, right?
Correct. Active listening it's brilliant. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with active listening. Yes, we should do that. So there's actually just a layer more that's given by using this technique of observational listening, because the question really is what are you observing? And what I try to train people to do in this technique is to observe what emotions are playing in the other person. And by checking what emotions are happening in that other person at this moment in time, you are far quicker in understanding what's important for that other person, which means that it's far easier for you just to vary the depth, the profundity of the conversation by just tuning in to those emotions.
So if you're looking at the expression on the person's face, their eye movement, their hand gestures, their body movement, are they relaxed? Are they tense? These are going to be powerful keys as to what that person is actually trying to convey to you, right?
Well, it's more than just actually what they're trying to convey. It's really about what's happening inside them, because really, how can I say this? And it's more than just only what you see. It's trying to use all of your senses in as much as that is possible to try and sense what's happening in that other person. I can give you a simple example. If I start talking a little bit faster and a little bit higher in my voice like this could be because I'm feeling a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Or I could slow down and I could come down in a slower realm of my voice. So it's hearing, it's seeing. If you have people face to face, it's sometimes even smelling.
And empathy is what's coming into play here, right?
Sure, definitely. But I mean, without empathy, how can you observe somebody else's emotions? To me, that's impossible.
Exactly. Tell us a little bit about the link between well-being, psychological safety, and sustainability.
Well, really, this to me is one of the most interesting subjects, and this is also the reason I went into this field. The reason I went in this field, I'm also a counseling psychologist. And a lot of people come to me, they're sent to me by organizations because they're dealing with too much stress, with burnout, all kinds of other issues. And what was really interesting to me is especially the link, for example, with toxic leadership and all the things that go wrong in an organization as well. And really, this all fits with a far broader idea. So if I start with that broader idea, it's corporate social responsibility. And corporate social responsibility is a way of arranging your organization for durability, sustainability in the long term. And not only in terms of, for example, the environment, but especially in terms of all its stakeholders. And all its stakeholders, one of the most important stakeholders in any organization, are the employees, the people who work for that organization. I mean, they're expensive too, so they're important in so many ways. Also, without your employees, how are you going to produce anything? How are you going to offer a service, whatever it is you're doing as an organization? So they're a really fundamental stakeholder in any organization. And so sustainability in terms of that stakeholder to me, is a very important factor. And now we come to this whole idea straight away of how do you make sure that the people that you hire in feel safe, feel happy. So this is the well-being side, and want to stay in your organization.
Yeah.
Because these are the people you want. You hire people in for a reason. You don't hire somebody in simply because you've got a job that somebody wants to do, especially not if we're talking about innovative companies. You're hiring people in for their expertise. You want that expertise. You want them to give that expertise to your organization whilst you want them. Yeah. So look after them. This is the bottom line, really.
Yeah. And the bottom line also is turnover is very expensive to an organization,
sure.
Right? Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
And I think few organizations realize actually how much money they spend on hiring the right people and then don't guard the exit stream. So spend some more time and effort and yeah, to me, getting sure that people stay, keep that retention high. That to me is also a big saving on the bottom line.
Absolutely. Obviously, you're making a distinction between being a boss and being a leader. And yes. A leader, it seems, from your standpoint, is also being a coach.
Amongst other things, yes.
Yeah.
To me, this is a funny idea, perhaps. I call it the upside down organization. I mean, why do we have a board of directors? Why do we have the HR department, et cetera, et cetera? They don't produce a damn thing. I'm not saying they're unnecessary.
Right.
They're very necessary. But they are there to support the work. They're there to enable, to facilitate that which needs to be done gets done. And this is also my picture of a leader. A leader is not somebody there who's pulling, pushing, telling everybody what to do. A leader is supporting people in a way that what needs to be done is done.
Tell us a little bit about the effects on people and the organization when you have a toxic workplace.
The people that I get in my practice who are the victim of a toxic workplace, it's devastating. It's devastating what these people go through. I know that it can even get as bad as that people commit suicide. So it's not toxic workplaces. I don't think people realize how much impact that has on the individual who's feeling discriminated or whatever it is that happens in this toxic workplace. So the effects are devastating, and usually people try and fix. They try and fix what's happening to them within that organization, but generally it doesn't work. So a toxic workplace generally means that the culture of that organization is toxic. Yeah. And changing a business culture is very difficult. So,
and it has to start from the top. I've actually talked to people when they're in an organization that is awful, that yes. I basically tell them all you can do is go with the flow, because if you try to change it, you're going to be the whipping boy. You're going to get into trouble. Sure. You're going to be the one demoted or fired.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly. And even the toxic leaderships, if they're not right at the top of the company, they usually have friends higher up. Yeah. So whatever you do, you're still going to land up with the short end of the stick.
Exactly. So changing the culture at the top, having that filter down to the rank and file, that sure. is the ideal. Sure. Emotional intelligence is something you touch upon in your book, and it's an important aspect of all this. Talk to me a little bit about it.
Well, emotional intelligence, again, how are you going to understand other people if you don't understand emotions? And emotional intelligence is a broad subject. It's about our own emotions, understanding our own emotions, understanding how we react and how our emotions drive us, and also about how emotions drive other people. A lot of people, for example, just to take something very simple, we have judgment about our own emotions. We say we have good emotions, we have bad emotions. I'm sorry, but emotions are there for a reason. So what makes them good or bad? They might feel unpleasant, they might feel pleasant, but that doesn't make them good or bad. They're there for a reason. and helping especially leaders discover what emotions are trying to nudge us towards, and therefore also nudging other people, the people they're leading, towards. That gives you such a huge amount of information, and also makes this whole idea of having to motivate people superfluous. You simply don't have to motivate people anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your emotions are basically feedback. You know, it's your body's
Yeah,
response, your mind's response, your heart's response to what's
sure.
happening around you. And like you said, it's neither good nor bad. You have to
That's
realize
what.
why you're
Mm.
feeling that way.
Well, it's actually not even why am I feeling that way? This is the funny thing, because that's looking at the past. This is looking for a reason why I'm feeling this way. Generally, either we know very well why we're feeling this way, it's in our face,
Mm.
uh, yeah, or we're going to spend a lot of time trying to find out why we're feeling this way, and probably not going to get an answer.
Mm.
So I'm far more for this idea of, let's try and find out, this emotion is telling me something's important. There's a need here that wants attention. What is that need, and what should I do? In other words, what's this emotion nudging me towards?
Mm.
And then I believe we have a far more effective way of dealing with our emotions than trying to find out where they come from.
Agreed. Tell me a little bit about your work.
Oh, well, my work is very varied. My work is very varied, simply because I have a practice of 2 days a week still as a counseling psychologist, helping people mainly sent via organizations dealing with all kinds of mental issues. A lot of it's stress related, so I'm very interested in stress. I was really amazed. This is already 10, 15 years ago, when I saw a TED talk by Kelly McGonigal, a health psychologist, about stress. And she really changed my whole view on stress.
Mm.
That stress is actually healthy. Stress is your body energizing you, and it's not a signal that you're failing or can't cope and those kind of things.
Mm.
So that has already been a major shift also in all my work. This idea of stress, emotions, and the connection between those two. Emotions are telling you what's important,
Mhm.
what your needs are. Stress is giving you the energy to actually go out and do something about that. That combination to me is really what most of my work's about, because that's all got to do with really what am I here for, is well-being. I believe in well-being,
Mm.
and I want people to have experience a higher well-being.
Absolutely. Fascinating. I often give people the same advice that you just espoused right now, because they'll say, well, I'm so nervous. I'm so stressed about being on your show or during this audition or while
Sure.
on camera. And I tell them that's what's going to give you the edge. That's what's
Exactly.
going to make you have the energy that people want to listen to you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so stress and nervousness, once you can control it so it's not controlling you and channel
Mm-hmm.
that energy in the right direction, is actually a
Sure.
plus.
Sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not only a psychologist, but you're also a prolific writer. You've got more than a dozen books out there. Tell me a little bit about your writing career and what's out there.
Well, my writing career is about all kinds of subjects to do with psychology, but really the most interesting work to me has always been what I've called observational listening.
Hmm.
This is basically a technique I discovered in my profession, really in starting with training of other people how to have better conversations. So this whole concept of discovering what's the difference between somebody who just sits down and has a conversation, and it looks so damn easy,
Yeah.
and you see other people battling, and that difference, that was this observing other people's emotions. That was my hypothesis, which I tested, and this is also been the crux of my work, this observational listening, and that's what I've been writing about, and that's also where this book, The Excellent Leader, with a follow through, The More Excellent Leader, and there's another one still in the pen, The Most Excellent Leader. So that's really what my work's mainly about.
Wonderful. This book, The Excellent Leader, Influence Using the Art of Observational Listening, is actually part of a 3-part series, correct?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of which the second one has already been published. The third one's still in the pen.
And the second one is called The More Excellent Leader?
Exactly.
And the third is called The Most Excellent Leader. See, I do my active and observational listening. Excellent. Sounds great. You got to do it as a newsman, that's for sure. We've been talking to Markus van Alphen. He is an excellent speaker, an excellent psychologist, and an excellent writer. And he has written a book called The Excellent Leader, Influence Using the Art of Observational Listening. It's a game changer if you employ the tactics that are within these pages. Markus, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.